When I was kicked out of home at 18, my father shouted after me, "This girl is lustful. She's not worthy of our family's honor." Because I had held hands with my boyfriend. 12 years later, when that same father came to my psychology clinic saying, "Doctor, I want my daughter back." I grew up in a conservative neighborhood in Kansas. My father was a preacher, my mother a housewife. I was the eldest of 5 children. Our house had strict rules. Girls' behavior, clothing, even their glances were monitored. "Sarah, keep your eyes down," my mother would say. "Decent girls don't behave like this," my father would say. Until I turned 18, I followed these rules. When I passed my college entrance exams, I got permission to go to Chicago. I was going to study psychology. My father had opposed it, calling it mind-corrupting work, but was convinced because my grades were high. Everything was different in Chicago. For the first time, I felt free. I went to classes, had coffee with friends, read books, normal things a college student would do. There I met Michael. He was from the same department, a calm, intelligent boy. We would talk about psychology, share our dreams. Over time, we began to love each other. Our relationship was innocent. Holding hands, having tea together, studying, but in my family's eyes, this was a great sin. One day, my mother came to Chicago for a surprise visit. She saw me sitting with Michael on campus. We were just talking, but for my mother, this was enough. "Sarah, what are you doing like this?" she shouted publicly. Michael got up to leave, but my mother yelled, "Who are you? Are you corrupting this girl?" That day, she immediately took me to Kansas. She didn't speak during the journey, just prayed. At home, my father was waiting. His face was red with anger. "Sarah, what is this disgrace? You're the daughter of a decent family. What kind of behavior is this?" "Dad, he's just my friend. We were studying together." "Friend? Boys and girls can't be friends. Have you become lustful at this age?" This word hurt me deeply. Lustful. I had just loved someone, innocently. The next day, a family council was assembled. My uncles, aunts, elder sisters, everyone sat in the living room. I was alone in the middle on a chair, being judged. "This girl has disgraced our family," said my great-uncle. "You shouldn't have sent her to Chicago," said my uncle. "City girls become like this," said my aunt. My father stood up. "Sarah, you are no longer our daughter. There's no place for you in this house." "Dad, please. I didn't do anything wrong." "Didn't you? What is walking around shamelessly with a man? You are not worthy of our family's honor anymore." My mother was crying but not speaking. She was afraid of my father. "Pack your bag," my father said. "You will leave this house tonight." At 18, without any money, I was thrown out of the house. I couldn't return to Chicago because my father was paying my school fees. Now that support was gone too. The first night I went to my Aunt Fatma's house. "Sarah, I love you, but I can't go against my brother's decision," she said. "You can stay one night, then you must find another solution." The next day, other relatives. Same answer. Nobody dared to take me in. I was staying in a boarding house in Kansas. I only had money for a few days. I didn't know what would happen next. In those days, I cried a lot. I felt guilty. Maybe I had really done something wrong. Maybe I had gone too far. But then I remembered my psychology lessons. What I had learned? Family pressure, cultural norms, individual rights. I understood that it wasn't me who was wrong. What was wrong was punishing someone for loving. A week later, I decided I would go to New York. There I would find work, continue studying. I went from Kansas to New York by bus. All my money went to the ticket. I knew no one in New York. The first night I slept in Central Park. I was scared, but I had hope. The next day I started looking for work. I went everywhere. Is there work? Most places wanted high school graduates, required experience. Finally, I found work in a small bakery in Brooklyn. I would work 12 hours a day, earn less than minimum wage, but I accepted. The boss, Mr. Tony, was good. "Girl, why aren't you studying instead of serving?" he asked. "My family doesn't support me," I said simply. "I didn't go into details. You look very smart. Go to evening courses. Don't give up your dreams." While working, I applied to Knight University, psychology department. I was accepted as a scholarship student. I worked at the bakery during the day, went to school in the evening. It was very hard, but I was determined. My classmates were different. Most were working people. They were also pursuing their dreams. I was very successful in classes. My professors began to notice me. "Sarah, you're very talented," said my psychology history professor. "You should consider an academic career." "Professor, my financial situation doesn't allow it. There are scholarship opportunities." "Research them." That night I researched for hours. There were overseas scholarship programs. The conditions were difficult, but not impossible. Throughout university, I was always first. I wrote my thesis on family therapy. The subject was very close to me. My thesis, titled Individual Freedom Conflicts in Traditional Family Structures, was highly appreciated. At my graduation, my family wasn't there. Only Mr. Tony and his wife came. They had become my real family. "Girl, I'm proud of you," said Mr. Tony. "You're like our daughter." After graduation, I applied for master's degree. I was accepted at Columbia University. This time I had a full scholarship. In master's degree, I specialized in family therapy. I especially studied conflicts in traditional family structures. Thesis was on identity conflicts in adolescents in conservative families. Had conducted comprehensive research based on my own experiences. My thesis defense was successful. My professors said, "You should do a PhD on this subject." I got a scholarship for PhD in Germany. I spent 3 years at Humboldt University in Berlin. I specialized in clinical psychology. I learned a lot in Germany. Not just academic knowledge, but lifestyle too. There, no one judged me. I was a free person. When I returned to America, I was 29 years old, Dr. Sarah Johnson, family therapist. I opened my own clinic in New York. I named it Family and Individual Psychology Center. My first patients were usually young people experiencing family conflicts. Listening to their stories, I saw myself. One day, a 17-year-old girl came, Emma. Her family was conservative. The girl wanted to go to university, but they wouldn't allow it. "Doctor, I'm very stuck. My family says girls' education is sinful. I don't know what to do." Emma's story affected me greatly. I not only gave her therapy, but also arranged family meetings. Convincing her family wasn't easy, but we gradually succeeded. Emma is now a university senior. When my clinic became successful, the media began to show interest. I appeared on TV programs, gave interviews. I was known as an expert on traditional family structures and individual freedom. One day, they made a program on CNN. The topic was family values and modern life. During the program, there were phone connections. A father called, "Doctor, my daughter ran away from home. She behaved very badly. She had a boyfriend. Now she's angry with us. What should we do?" The voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't be sure. "Sir, first try to communicate with your daughter. Listen to her. Maybe she didn't do anything that bad." "But doctor, our honor. Is honor more important than love? Do you want to lose your daughter?" The phone hung up. A week after that program, the clinic received a phone call. "Can I speak with Dr. Sarah Johnson?" "I'm Sarah Johnson. How can I help you?" I'm Robert Miller, from Kansas." My heart stopped. My father was calling. "Dad?" "Yes, daughter. I called you because I need help." His tone was very different. The man who was once strong and authoritative now seemed desperate. "What happened, Dad?" "Your mother is very sick. She's been diagnosed with depression. She doesn't care about anything. She just cries. Doctors say psychological treatment is needed." It was ironic. Psychology was mind-corrupting work before. "Dad, there are very good psychologists in New York. I can give you names." "No, daughter. You. Would you treat her? Please." After 12 years, he was asking for my help. My mother and father came to New York. When I first saw them, I was shocked. My mother had lost a lot of weight. My father had aged considerably. My mother started crying when she saw me. "Daughter, forgive me. I made a big mistake." My father was silent. He was ashamed. "Doctor," my mother said, because she no longer saw me as her daughter. "Please help us." In the first session, Only my mother spoke. My father didn't make a sound. "I've been regretting these 12 years," my mother said. "The night we kicked you out, I cried until morning. But your father was angry. I couldn't speak. Then we saw you on television. You became a doctor. You became successful. I was proud, but at the same time, very sad. I couldn't follow my daughter's success." In the second session, my father spoke. "Sarah, Dr. Sarah, I did very wrong. You were an innocent child. You just had a friend. I was too harsh." "Why, Dad? Why did you act so harshly?" "Because I was afraid. I was afraid of what the neighborhood would say. But now I understand that your happiness was more important than the neighborhood's words." For 6 months we met once a week. My mother's depression was treated, but the real problem was family communication breakdown. Family therapy was a difficult process, especially with my own family. Sometimes I cried during therapy. The pain I experienced in the past came back. But I tried to be professional. This was my job. In the 3rd month, my father said, "Daughter, what a strong woman you've become. We tried to break you, but you came out even stronger." "Dad, those days were very painful, but they also made me who I am today. Do you forgive us?" "I'm learning to forgive, Dad. This is a process." At the end of the 6th month, when my mother and father returned to Kansas, they were very different. Both had changed. "Daughter, we're returning to Kansas, but you're always our daughter," my mother said. "Your home's door is open," my father said, "but I know you have your own life now." The next month, my father called. "Daughter, the preacher in the village is curious about you." I told him we have a doctor daughter. He was very impressed. This was very ironic. The girl once called Lustful was now a source of pride. Public announcement. A year later, I announced that I had re-established communication with my family. I gave a newspaper interview. Years ago, I was kicked out of home due to family pressure. Now I've treated that family. The headline read. It created a huge response. Hundreds of people experiencing similar situations sent messages. "Dr. Sarah, you've become my hope," they wrote. Applications to my clinic increased. Especially young people experiencing family pressure came. This experience gave me a new mission. I started the Family Peace Project. I organized free therapy sessions for families experiencing internal conflicts. In the first year, we helped 200 families. Peace was achieved in most. Our project made a lot of noise in the media. Even the ministry showed interest. It was supported as a building bridges between traditional values and modern life project. I turned what I experienced during this process into a book called Love Triumphs Over Honor. The book sold very well. At signing events, young people having problems with their families came. "Doctor, you give hope," they said. One day at a signing event, I saw someone familiar. It was Michael from university. "Sarah, how successful you've become." "Hello, Michael. How are you?" "Good. I'm married, have children." "You?" "I'm married too. My husband is also a psychologist." Talking with Michael was nice. He was my first love, the symbol of my innocence. "What you went through was very difficult. I read your book." "Yes, but it ended well in the end. Both I and my family healed." Last year I went to Kansas. For the first time in 12 years, the neighborhood had come out to welcome me. "The doctor has come," they were shouting. People who once excluded me were now greeting me with praise. "Dr. Sarah has become very successful," they said. At home, my mother and father were waiting for me. The house was the same, but the atmosphere was very different. "Daughter, welcome. This is your home," my father said. That evening, we talked at length about the past, today, the future. "Dad, I don't blame you at all anymore. You did what you could back then. You've become a very mature woman, daughter. I'm proud of you. I'm 35 years old now. I'm a successful psychologist. I have a happy marriage. My relationship with my family has improved. We meet regularly. My father is very different now. He advises other families in the neighborhood. Don't pressure your children. Understand them. My mother has also changed. Girls should also study, have careers, she says now. My clinic has grown. 10 psychologists work there. We're one of the country's leading centers in family therapy. That day when my father said, "This girl is lustful," neither of us knew that I would one day treat him. Years later, when he came to my clinic saying, "Doctor, I want my daughter back," I thought how ironic life could be. But the truth is, this wasn't just revenge. This was healing. Both mine and theirs. Love had triumphed over honor. Family values hadn't disappeared. They had just modernized. When I talk to my father today, he says, "Daughter, you taught us so much. I also learned a lot from you, Dad. To love, to be patient, to forgive." The most beautiful part of this story is that nobody lost. Everyone won. I regained my career. They regained their daughter. And most importantly, love won. I share this story because I know there are young people experiencing family pressure all over the world. I tell them this: never give up. Chart your own path. But if possible, don't lose your family either. Time heals. Communication creates solutions. The girl who was kicked out of home at 18, whom her father called Lustful, is today the doctor that same father is proud of. Life sometimes takes strange turns, and love always triumphs.